Right, so I'm joined by Dr. Marielle, and she's just come off the panel, and we are looking at a creative industry that, as we know, since even IATF in Cairo last year, Afreximbank has committed to supporting. Day 3 has encouraged a lot of these conversations, and let's talk a bit about infrastructure, right?
Yes.
What does the creative industry need in Africa in terms of infrastructure to truly develop in a sustainable way?
So I can speak specifically for the Caribbean.
Sure.
We have a lot of gaps, and what we do is that we repeat the same investments all of the time, and we try to start new projects rather than really looking at the evidence on the ground and what creatives are already doing on the ground to create evidence-based policy.
Okay.
And so the work that I've done has not only been as a social entrepreneur, but I worked for a development bank in the region, and I was the incepting coordinator for a creative industry fund. And I put an ecosystem and an infrastructure into place that was a lot different from where it started.
Sure.
So we started with accelerators, and these accelerators were linked, or the calls for the accelerators were linked to university programs. And then those university programs, of course, they would pilot the university program through the accelerator, create the manuals, create all of the policies and procedures for that program.
Right.
So that at the end of the day, that money then just doesn't die. It then lives on within an institution that can sustain it and
like
that can build the next cadre of creative entrepreneurs in the region.
That's big.
And so we did that across more than 5 to 7 countries in different fields, including intellectual property, festival tourism, and then in all of the subsectors that we were doing: festivals and carnivals, animation, music, visual arts, and fashion.
Yeah.
And it really produced economic returns because in many of the cases as well, the accelerators were followed by micro grants for creative entrepreneurs, and they were able to use that, invest in their business in meaningful ways because they now knew how to invest strategically and create employment.
And some of them have properly mushroomed around the continent.
They have.
And you watch with pride.
They have, and I'm seeing them doing their thing. I've worn one of the designers' works here at Afreximbank's meeting, and so it's an exciting thing to see.
I like that, because when you mentioned universities, my next question was going to say, all right, educational, institutional level, no problem. But then what happens then when they're in the bigger ecosystem? How do they survive? But you've already answered that in a way, right? By saying there have been some success stories. And this is, I guess, where the hope that Afreximbank also gets with partners like yourself to empower these young people and entrepreneurs to be able to build sustainable models.
Absolutely.
So that their businesses don't just, fade away and, they get swallowed by all the bottlenecks that come up. But what is the next step beyond that? Because we talk about trading locally or within their own countries, but we want to be globally competitive as well with our products. How do we finesse that?
So that is about creating a value chain and creating a value chain approach. And so we've done the educational part of it.
Yeah.
We've done the investing in the kind of the strategic design of the business. And so now we need to take them into larger ecosystems, which is where the web platforms that we have created come in, or where the knowledge resources that we've created and the networks of leaders. We also need associations and alliances. And so we've started on my own. We have started creating a Caribbean Creative Alliance, and we would love to invite Africa to join that. Actually, one of the persons I met here was like, let's do an Afro-Caribbean Creative Alliance.
I was going to say, the name Caribbean Creative Alliance cuts us up. So we're going to have to edit that.
We have to edit that. And so we're excited about that potential. And how that model of association works is that we have lead experts who are going to invest in younger people. And so that mentorship and apprenticeship is really critical to success. And so this platform not only allows for associating and professionalization of the industry, it allows for continued learning and networking, upskilling and monetizing. It allows others to join us on the platform, whether it's policymakers, advocates, investors. And so that is the...
It's okay. It's fine. It's a creative space.
And so, really creating the architecture, or engineering that architecture for the region is critical for our creative entrepreneurs.
I like that. So we have a lot of synergies that we are anticipating. Like you said, you've spoken to some Africans who are interested in entering this space, and honestly, we're just watching to see that grow, because that's the only way we can build this and make it sustainable, make it work, and make it
work.
profitable.
And really thinking about things like the festival economy and how we can come together. So I was really excited to hear about CanX, because we also do a festival. Which
Were you at IATF last year?
I was not. But you know what?
I'm so sorry.
We're going to work. I know. We're going to work on that. And we're going to invite you to our festival. We're going to have it in DC this year, but in Rome.
Nice.
And so the idea for that is, that's where the seminars come together. That's where the panel discussions, the business elements, but also the showcase.
Sure.
So we're really excited about the possibilities.
Good. I'm happy to hear this. Just a little bit more from the panel, right? It's always good to extend and allow for all the points to be exhausted. But thank you so much for participating, for being here. And we look forward to seeing you next year and to watch what you do with the networks you've made here.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
much.
Thank you. All righty.